Okay, so in this video, we'll be converting angle measure from degrees to radians. I'm assuming that you've watched the video in the course and read the book as to how degrees and radians are related to one another. And basically it is that radians, there are 2 pi radians in a circle, there are 360 degrees in a circle. So we have a conversion ratio that started as 2 pi radians is a full circle, 360 degrees is a full circle, and then we just reduce the fraction, basically, is what happened. I mean, there's much more to it, so make sure you watch the introductory video in the course, as well as looking in the text. But let's just do some of the conversions that you may be asked to do. So here we're asked to convert 6 degrees to radians. Now when you're converting from degrees to radians, you multiply by pi over 180 and then reduce. Okay, so we take our 6 degrees times pi over 180. That gives me 6 pi over 180, and then I want to reduce this fraction. 6 goes into 6 once, leaving with just pi, and 6 goes into 180 30 times. So 6 degrees is the same as pi over 30 radians. Next, convert 140 degrees to radians. We use the same process. So we have 140, we multiply by pi over 180. That gives me 140 pi over 180, and then we just reduce that fraction. Notice the 140 and 180, 20 will divide evenly into each of those. So basically I'll write it out this way, the way a little more technically sound there. So if we take the 140, divide by 20, we get 7, and we still have the pi on the top there. If we take 180 and divide by 20, we get 9. So 7 pi over 9 is the same as 140 degrees. 7 pi over 9 radians. Next, negative 120 degrees, and we're going to leave it as a negative measure. Okay, so we're basically converting 120 degrees to radians. We do the same thing. Multiply by pi over 180. And the way I remember, because when we go the other direction, it's still 180 and pi. The way that I remember is whatever you want to go into, that's what's on top. And since pi is something we typically use for our radians, it's on top when you're converting to radians. When we go to degrees, the 180 is a degrees, it will go on top. But for now, we're converting degrees to radians. We go ahead and multiply. That gives me negative 120 pi over 180, and then we want to reduce that. 60 will go evenly into each of those. 60 goes into 120 twice, so we get the negative 2 pi. 60 goes into 180 3 times, so the negative 120 degrees is the same as negative 2 pi over 3 radians. And finally, let's convert 235 degrees to radians. So once again, we multiply by pi over 180. When we do that, we get 235 pi over 180. We want to reduce that as much as we possibly can. It looks like 5 will go evenly into each of these. So just like reducing a fraction, which is what we're doing, 5 goes into 235 47 times, and it goes into 180 36 times. So 47 pi over 36 radians is our answer.